What's going on, you guys? So, check it right. I was watching a recent episode of Chopping It with Buddha T titled Culture Chop with Zinga, Rishi, K, and Zinga's other brother Fox. Now, they were discussing the recent states of Nasty C's career and how it could potentially improve. So, I found what they had to say really interesting, so check what they had to say.
As goated as Nasty C is, meaning we recognize that he's very talented, he's dope, he's got all the potential, right? I just think the efforts that are put in place to cross over to that side are almost not hitting, because also Africa and South Africa is starting to mean something different to the world in the international space.
Yeah.
And when they hear of his origin and then they hear the music, for them, maybe as American people, for American people, maybe it's like, I mean, this is dope, but where's the African, where's the, you know? So I think it's also shown, look at the response he had with Lemonade, with Forbes, right? Some of
South Africa, his most South African verse.
His most South African.
For me.
And the one verse that I think people will hold up there more than any bars he could flip to the most quadruple entendres or whatever. I think that for him was for me would have taken it as a sign from God or the music gods to say, bro, you actually still do have something.
That you could surprise the
you
people.
You have not
with.
entered this pocket. And look how people appreciate this. How they respond to it. Nasty's pen, I think, is unmatched. His music making ability is also unmatched.
Yeah.
You know,
He's up there with Forbes.
Yeah, I don't think like making music is not a struggle for Nasty. So I think it all lies in the music direction. I think that's why it's maybe not translating that side, because when they hear African, it's worse now with piano having scorched the scene. That side, it's like if they hear that you're from Africa or South African, those are the elements they are looking for.
Yeah.
You know? So if they hear you sounding like someone from out here, I don't think they would be eager to jump into that, because it's like, we kind of know this. I think there's a slight disconnect. Obviously, when you're in GOAT status, these fans and people have grown up with you in their lives, so they'll always respect and regard you and check you out. But I think even my point that time when I was saying that the moves and the music maybe is not hitting the way it did, is because there is a bit of a disconnect, and it's natural, it's going to happen, not because of how long you've been here, because if you think about it, these guys are approaching 10 years in the game.
Crazy.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy.
As young
as the kids who are the new kids then. These guys are approaching 10 years in the game. So we've seen all the tricks. We've seen their best work. And I think when you start aiming to hit another level or to change a gear, there's a lot you have to consider and apply, you know? So maybe your super hip-hop persona and bravado has to kind of die. Treat it like a Drizzy, you know? I look at Nasty like that, like he's a Drizzy. He can give me all kinds of tropical songs and R&B. He's had an R&B hit. He has R&B hits. His biggest songs are R&B hits. So,
and he can always have the rap shit in the album.
Yeah.
Dog, he was doing freestyles when he goes to the state, does his freestyle. We all know his ability, you know? We all know his ability, and it's not that the people that side aren't necessarily seeing it. Like if a Chris Brown can take his freestyle and post it, and if he can get all these things, they are aware of him. It's just I don't think that's what they are looking for when they hear an African or Zulu man with some power. You know what I'm saying? They associate that with Africa, so they want to be like, but where's the African, yabo? So I think, dog, that the Lemonade for me was a from God to say, my brother, this is...
So they mentioned quite a few interesting things, right? The first being that despite I Love It Here being a really good album from Nasty, it just didn't resonate and connect with fans according to Zinga and the crew, which has sort of left them in a tricky position. They also mentioned that even though he's been in the industry for so long, almost 10 years, the music that he's been coming out with won't necessarily push him to be the artist he wants to be internationally. Now, Fox mentioned that the efforts that Nasty has been putting in musically to cross over to the US, while while it's just not hitting, and that's because there's a certain sound that Americans expect from South Africans, or just Africans in general, which Nasty doesn't make. Now, Fox brought up Lemonade with AKA, and how that's been his most South African verse, which got a big response compared to his usual sound that is more American. They also mentioned that his international aspiration has sort of created a disconnect with the audience locally, and they also spoke on Nasty changing his musical direction and actually using Lemonade as a blueprint to change his sound if he really wants to prosper internationally. Now, do I agree with what they said? Well, honestly, I do, but only to a certain extent. I mean, I'm sure in the US there's a bunch of niggas on the come up who are just as good as Nasty in terms of rapping ability. So if Nasty's gonna try to be successful in that market, he would need to separate himself from the rest of the crowd and bring something new sonically. So if a song like Lemonade or Particular are two of his biggest songs and they aren't hip-hop in a traditional sense, then it would stand reason for him to switch his sound. Now, it's no secret that Nasty should be the biggest rapper, actually the biggest export from South Africa, and he is to a certain level. I mean, some of the biggest artists from the US know about Nasty, with him actually rubbing shoulders with them in person, as well as some of the biggest YouTube reactors from the US playing his music videos and freestyles. So he's made his presence known that side, but his efforts aren't hitting the way that we would like to see, and I'm sure he expects more as well. Now, whether that comes down to himself or his sound, or Def Jam just not pushing him correctly, well, that remains to be a big debate. Now, someone who has consistently spoken about Nasty's career and been overly critical about it is Nota. Now, Nota has always said that the likes of Nasty and Reese need to stop sounding American and sound more local if they have aspirations of breaking into the US market whilst making an impact. Now, surprisingly enough, he actually gave props to Nasty for his verse on Lemonade. So despite being harsh on Nasty majority of the time, I guess in hindsight, Nota actually did have a point with wanting him to sound more local, or at least adapt a more local sound to his music. Now, even though he's dabbled in Afro beats, R&B and pop, I do remember that there was a time when Nasty blatantly refused to do Amapiano.
Amapiano, and me, Amapiano, nah, hell nah. I'll be a fan of Amapiano from a distance. Keep me out of that conversation though. Keep me out of it. If any one of my fellow artists are in here, like artist friends and stuff, and you had a Amapiano song and you were thinking I would go well on it, kill that idea right now. Don't do it to yourself. I hate declining stuff, especially people I know. Don't make me do it, man. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it, man. Do not do it. But yeah, I love Amapiano, man. It comes with a different type of energy, bro. Like, you can't fake that. I would be faking it if I did it, but you can't fake that, though. Just look at it from a distance, admire it, be a fan, support, and keep it pushing. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm hip-hop to the core, but that's not what I'm, like, totally zoned in, like, lasered on, you know what I mean? Like, I still do a little bit of pop. I tell you what, I'll make a house music song before I make a Amapiano song, because of my background, it'll make more sense. I'm from Durban. My big brother taught me how to use FL Studio, taught me how to make beats, and he used to make house music. So that's how I started making beats, making house music beats. So I make house music before I make Amapiano. Amapiano is like mostly inspired by, I don't know, I guess you'd say Kwaito a bit. That's not really my background, you know?
But now it sounds like he's changed his tone a bit.
Truth is the truth. Afro beats and Amapiano are better than hip hop. Like music-wise. Bro, let's call a spade, man. I mean, of course, there's some songs where it's like auto-tune heavy. This nigga's not saying shit. He's just saying nyash a bunch of times. But live instruments, bro, original melodies, niggas who can actually sing, that's music, dog. Their music lasts forever. Hip-hop, we sample a lot. I'm not being ungrateful to hip-hop. I love hip-hop. I am hip-hop to the core. I am hip-hop till I die. Hip-hop, we out here playing this weird game where it's like everyone is fake rich. Everyone is fake balling. Everyone is fake gangster. I'm sick and tired of hearing a nigga speaking about spinning in these songs. Like, what are you? You're not spinning nothing. Stop it, dog. Shut the fuck up. There's...
You plan to do any other piano? Because he died.
Yeah, I might do a little project. After this guy teaches me how to dance.
Yeah.
Because like he was dancing on.
That's my biggest problem, you know? Imagine I drop my I'm a Piano album and I can't perform it.
You know what? Nasty
That
can
would be
actually
awkward.
dance. The other day he was fooling around in the club. I was like, there it is.
No, when I'm sitting, it's different. When I'm sitting,
It's different. Like you can still do
yeah,
it.
you know?
But that's what's beautiful about my piano is like anyone can feel or look like they can dance. It's just like simple moves. So I'm trying to get him to like mess around with it at some point. But right now it's like strictly hip hop.
Yeah, right now.
But he's open to it.
So with a change in tone, we might actually see a change in sound. Now this all comes from a fan's point of view, wanting to see Nasty prosper to his fullest potential. So we as fans can only want so much for him. The question is, does he want that for himself? I mean, we all know that Nasty is super talented. The music he puts out is definitely undeniable, making him the biggest rapper in the country for a reason. But we all know he's capable of reaching greater heights instead of just staying stagnant. So hopefully with time we get to see that. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think Nasty C is in a tricky position with his career? And if so, do you think he needs to change his sound? Comment down below. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to hit that like button if you found the content dope, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's on to the next one. Peace.